So here in this video, I would just like to build upon and bulk out that idea that I shared with you in the last video, and this was this idea that Aaron Beck and Albert Ellis had brought and introduced to the world. This idea that thoughts can impact feelings. Now, this was a world first back then. I mean, if we were to reflect back to that story that I shared with you in the last video, I shared with you that story, didn't I? There was a young man who overtook me on a bit of a road that he just shouldn't have overtaken me. It was so thoughtless. It was so impatient. It was completely disrespectful, or so I assumed. But I guess that I jumped to these assumptions because I didn't have any other information. And if you think about it in life, how often do we as human beings, as fully grown men and women, jump to assumptions and conclusions with minimum information? And the answer is most of us. This is how most of us derive at the conclusions and the judgments that we come to in life. Now, this framework is a very basic framework that Aaron Beck and Albert Ellis initially introduced to their new-founded school of cognitive behavioural therapy. And what they suggested was that it isn't events that make us feel anything in life. Events do not equal emotions. What events do is they trigger interpretations. They trigger thoughts and interpretations, and this was what happened with me as that young man drove past. Now, incidentally, this event could be anything. For you personally, it could be missing the bus. It could be getting called names. It could be getting ripped off by a salesman. It could be getting and having a bird shit on your shoulder or anything like that. It could be me swearing. It could be anything. I could say something right now that you're really taking offence at. And to be honest, if you think about it, all of these things are events that happen outside of you. It's how you interpret these events that determine how you feel. Think about it. If you were to be running up the road, it's really raining pretty hard close to where you live, and you see the bus is standing still at the bus stop, and as you're around about 20 yards away, it pulls off, and that's it. And what happens next? Well, how you might choose to interpret this event could be, this sucks. That bus driver, he saw me. He's so disrespectful. He was doing that just to make me angry. And how are you going to feel as a direct result of that? That's right. You're going to feel angry. But okay, in an alternate universe, right? How would it feel if you were to miss the bus, and then just interpret that as, oh well, I'll just go to the shop and get myself a coffee, buy a newspaper, and just chill out for 20 minutes. How would you feel in turn? There's a pretty good chance you just kind of feel neutral. All I'm really wanting to help you do here and help you understand is that nothing in life can make us feel anything. It's physically impossible. It's physically impossible for me to offend you. I could call you all the names under the sun. You could get abused by your husband, by your wife. You could get called names by your boss, by colleagues at school, university. You could fail your exams. You could get cheated on. But none of these things have the capacity within themselves to make you feel anything whatsoever. I mean, the idea that I'd like to share with you here is that if situations, circumstances, and events outside of you have the capacity and the ability to make you feel anything, then what that means is that you are not in control of your own life. You're not in control of your emotions. That means that all of these other things, events, situations, people, they have influence over you. They're in control of you. What CBT was packaged up to teach and help people understand was that it isn't events that make us feel anything. It is, in fact, just how it is that we choose to interpret these events, which is in fact a choice. So, attached to this video, in the additional materials section, we've put together a mini workbook, because this is right at the start of the course, but this is a foundational idea that's really important for you to get your head around. Whether you go any further with your studies of cognitive behavioural therapy or whether you don't, this is an idea that's going to serve you not just in your relationships, but professionally, academically, in virtually every single area of your life. So I'm going to strongly urge you to print off the workbook and spend some real time, considering this idea from lots of different perspectives, because if you really get this, then we're going to be ready to go a little bit deeper through the rest of this section and the remainder of the course. So print off the workbook, spend 5 to 10 minutes working through it, and I'll look forward to seeing you again in the next clip.